historian has a near-perfect track record when it comes to predicting presidential elections. Dr. Allan Lichtman created the 13 keys to the White House, which has helped him correctly predict 9 of the last 10 elections. He's joining me this morning on Morning in America. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
My great pleasure, and I'd say 10 out of 10, because in 2000, when I predicted Gore, that was a stolen election. Gore should have won Florida in the presidency. Going away, I proved it in my report to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. It's still on their website.
It's funny you said that because I wondered during the commercial break, which was the 10th. So thank you so much for clearing that up. All right, let's talk about your 13 keys. What are those important aspects heading into the election? Which candidate do you think currently, as of this morning, has the edge?
Let me say the keys are an alternative to the pundits and the pollsters that led us so astray in 2016 when the keys correctly predicted Donald Trump's win, which did not make me very popular in 90% plus Democratic Washington, D.C., where I teach at American University. The thesis behind the keys is that American elections are primarily votes up or down on the strength and performance of the White House party, and that's what the keys gauge. And if 6 keys or more go against the White House party, they are predicted losers. I've not made a final call. I will do that after the Democratic convention in August, but I have said a lot would have to go wrong, it can, for Biden to lose. Here's where the keys stand right now.
Okay.
Biden has definitively lost 2 keys. Party mandate, based on Democratic losses in the U.S. House elections last time, and incumbent charisma, because Biden is no Franklin Roosevelt or Ronald Reagan. So what are the 4 keys that could fall to predict his defeat? Here's what your viewers should be looking at, not the polls and the pundits. Social unrest. Will we see a repeat of the Black Lives Matter unrest or what happened in the anti-Vietnam War protests? Third party. Will RFK Jr. stabilize at around 10% or more as we get closer? And foreign/military foreign policy failure and success, depending upon what happens in the 2 wars raging in Gaza and Ukraine.
Doctor, I have to ask, there's still over 4 months to Election Day. You said you're not making your prediction until after the DNC. Do you think this is too far out to have this debate? Is it going to make a difference for those undecided voters?
Well, here's the thing. Debates are fun. There have been great moments in debates, like Ronald Reagan saying, as far as the age issue is concerned, I'm not going to exploit the youth and inexperience of my opponent, something both candidates could take heed, but they have zero predictive value. Remember, Hillary Clinton won all 3 debates. In 2004, John Kerry outshined George W. Bush and still lost. And the greatest myth about debates is that in 1960, Kennedy's cool, telegenic persona, as compared to Richard Nixon's more swarmy appearance, won the debate and won the election. That's a fiction concocted long after the election. The contemporary evidence is just the opposite. Nixon was very well regarded in that debate. So look for great moments like Reagan in 1984, but don't expect to be able to predict an election based on debates.
Well, I'm going to keep an eye on those keys tonight. Dr. Allan Lichtman, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.